Welcome to the DIY Honda Garage channel. The diagnostic trouble code, DTC P0757, indicates a malfunction concerning Shift Solenoid Valve B within the Honda Odyssey models from 2011 to 2017. This code is integral to understanding issues related to gear shifting performance in the vehicle's automatic transmission. Shift solenoids are electronic valves that control the flow of transmission fluid, acting on hydraulic circuits that facilitate gear changes. When the system detects that Shift Solenoid Valve B is stuck in the on position, it limits the vehicle's ability to shift gears, typically restricting the operation to just second or fourth gear due to a fail-safe feature that protects the transmission from further damage. As you address this code, it is crucial to familiarize yourself with the essential components, including the Powertrain Control Module, PCM, which manages the solenoid's functionality in response to various operational conditions. The primary component affected by DTC P0757 is Shift Solenoid Valve B. This solenoid plays a crucial role in regulating the flow of transmission fluid, which is essential for shifting gears within the automatic transmission system. Located within the transmission assembly, Shift Solenoid B works in conjunction with other solenoids and hydraulic circuits to determine the appropriate gear ratio based on input from various sensors and the Powertrain Control Module, PCM. When this solenoid fails or becomes stuck, it disrupts the balance of fluid flow, preventing the transmission from engaging the proper gears during operation. In the context of the Honda Odyssey, understanding where this solenoid is located and how it operates is vital for effective troubleshooting and repair, ensuring a smooth and functional driving experience. Several potential causes could trigger the DTC P0757. One primary cause is a faulty Shift Solenoid B itself, which may fail due to electrical issues, wear over time, or internal damage. Another critical cause could be the presence of debris in the transmission strainer. Excessive metal debris or clutch material can indicate significant wear within the transmission, impairing solenoid operation and overall function. Fluid level issues are also a significant factor. If the transmission fluid is low or contaminated, it can result in inadequate lubrication or improper shifting behavior. Therefore, thorough inspections of the fluid condition and the solenoid's functionality are paramount in accurately diagnosing this issue, keeping in mind the critical role each component plays in maintaining the transmission's performance. The symptoms associated with DTC P0757 can significantly impact driving performance. One of the most noticeable signs is limited gear shifting, wherein the transmission may only operate in second or fourth gear. This occurs due to the fail-safe function designed to protect the transmission from further complications, while still allowing some level of mobility. Drivers may also experience unusual transmission behavior, such as delayed shifting, harsh shifts, or a constant feeling of the engine racing without corresponding acceleration. Recognizing these symptoms promptly can aid in diagnosing the underlying issue more efficiently, ensuring timely intervention to avoid further damage to the transmission system. In the first troubleshooting step for DTC P0757, warm up the engine until it reaches normal operating temperature. This is crucial, as the transmission fluid needs to be at its optimal viscosity to facilitate accurate testing. You'll know the engine is warmed up when the radiator fan engages. Engaging the fan indicates that the engine has reached an optimal temperature where the transmission fluid is sufficiently hot. Ensuring that the engine is at the correct temperature is essential to replicate operational conditions that the vehicle would experience under normal driving scenarios. This step is foundational, as skipping it can lead to misinterpretation of the subsequent diagnostic results, thereby complicating the troubleshooting process. The second troubleshooting step involves checking the transmission fluid level and inspecting for any fluid leaks. Proper fluid levels are vital for the effective operation of the transmission. Low fluid can cause slippage, overheating, and erratic shifting behavior. To check the fluid level, be sure to follow the manufacturer's guidelines, often requiring the vehicle to be on a level surface and the engine running. Concurrently, inspect for fluid leaks underneath the vehicle or around the transmission housing, as this may signify an internal fault or compromised seals and gaskets. Rectifying any leaks is essential not only for resolving immediate operational issues, but also for preventing long-term damage to the transmission system, ensuring its longevity and reliability. In the third troubleshooting step, drain the automatic transmission fluid, ATF, through the strainer for examination. This step is vital because inspecting the condition of the strainer can reveal the presence of metal debris or excessive clutch material, both of which serve as indicators for potential transmission issues. Metal debris may suggest premature wear of internal components, while excessive clutch material points towards slipping clutches or other malfunctions. If any debris is found during inspection, it highlights a more serious underlying condition, and the transmission must be replaced. Conversely, if no issues are observed, the next step would involve replacing the ATF to ensure the fluid is clean and capable of adequately lubricating the transmission components for optimal operation. Step 4 of the troubleshooting process entails safely raising the front of the vehicle and ensuring that the front wheels can rotate freely. This step is critical for conducting further diagnostics while the vehicle is in gear. Use appropriate jack stands to securely support the vehicle before proceeding with further tests. This setup allows the technician to engage the transmission while the vehicle is stationary, simulating real-world operating conditions without the risk of the vehicle rolling. Ensuring that the front wheels turn freely enables accurate monitoring of the transmission's response to gear shifts. Properly executing this step is necessary for the integrity of the tests that will follow. In the fifth troubleshooting step, turn the ignition switch to the on second position. This step is vital as it powers the vehicle's electrical systems without starting the engine. By placing the ignition in this position, the technician activates the vehicle's diagnostic systems, allowing for the reading and clearing of DTCs using the Honda Diagnostic System HDS tool. Preparing the system for DTC clearing ensures that any existing fault codes can be reset, enabling the technician to evaluate the transmission's performance afresh. It's important to ensure that all systems, including the PCM, are ready for a diagnostic assessment prior to moving on to the subsequent steps in the troubleshooting guide. In this sixth step, clear the DTC utilizing the Honda Diagnostic System, HDS. This step involves using the diagnostic tool to erase any previously stored fault codes from the PCM. Clearing the DTC allows technicians to reset the system's memory, which is essential for monitoring real-time data as the vehicle is operated again. After clearing, it sets a clean slate to evaluate whether the issue with Shift Solenoid Valve B persists after the subsequent tests. It's crucial to follow any additional prompts from the HDS to ensure that the process is completed successfully, thereby resetting the transmission diagnostics and preparing for future tests. The seventh step is to start the engine after clearing the DTC and disabling the Vehicle Stability Assist, VSA, by pressing the VSA off button. Disabling the VSA is critical because this system may interfere with transmission testing and shifting behavior, as it manages various traction and stability functions that could mask the symptoms associated with a solenoid issue. Once the engine starts, the technician can observe how the transmission operates under normal working conditions without the VSA engaging. This step allows for a controlled environment to evaluate the transmission's ability to shift through its gears, ensuring that any impending issues can be identified and addressed without external influences skewing the results. In the 8th troubleshooting step, using the Honda Diagnostics System, HDS, run the vehicle with the shift lever in drive, D, to monitor the transmission as it shifts towards 6th gear. As the technician performs this test, it is essential to check the status of the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th pressure switch signals in real time. These pressure switches are critical components that provide feedback to the PCM about hydraulic pressure that affects shifting behavior. By carefully monitoring these signals and assessing whether the pressure switches turn on as expected during gear shifts, technicians can identify inconsistencies or further evidence of solenoid failures. If the switches behave correctly during multiple attempts, it reinforces that the issue may lie specifically with Shift Solenoid Valve B. In the final troubleshooting step, select Shift Solenoid Valve B from the miscellaneous test menu on the Honda Diagnostic System, HDS, and check its operation. This involves assessing whether the solenoid engages and activates correctly when prompted by the diagnostic system. One key indicator to listen for is a clicking sound, which would confirm that the solenoid is functioning properly. However, if no sound is detected, it may indicate that Shift Solenoid Valve B is faulty and requires replacement. Understanding this interaction is critical, as a malfunctioning solenoid can severely impact gear shifting behavior and overall transmission performance, necessitating the replacement of either the solenoid or the valve body to restore functionality. After completing the necessary repairs, conducting a final verification is vital to ensure the effectiveness of the interventions made. This final verification typically involves assessing whether the transmission shifts smoothly across all gears as intended. Performing a test drive allows for real-world evaluation, ensuring that the vehicle behaves correctly in various driving conditions. During the test drive, technicians must pay close attention to how the vehicle accelerates and shifts through all gears, confirming that previously identified issues linked to DTC P0757 have been resolved. It's important to reconfirm that the fault code does not reappear in the system. This thorough approach validates both the repair work performed and the overall operational integrity of the transmission. Preventive maintenance plays a vital role in mitigating the risk of DTC P0757 and similar issues in the future. Regularly checking the transmission fluid level helps in identifying leaks or contamination early, potentially preventing major failures down the line. Additionally, adhering to recommended service intervals for transmission fluid changes is essential. Over time, fluid can degrade due to heat and contamination, which can negatively affect shifting performance and solenoid functionality. Maintaining this proactive approach, including inspections of related components, such as solenoids and pressure switches, reinforces the longevity and efficiency of the transmission system in the Honda Odyssey, safeguarding against catastrophic failures. In conclusion, understanding DTC P0757 is essential for diagnosing issues related to Shift Solenoid Valve B in the Honda Odyssey models from 2011 to 2017. The systematic troubleshooting steps outlined provide a clear framework for identifying and resolving the issue effectively. By focusing on critical components such as fluid condition, solenoid operation, and transmission pressures, technicians can successfully pinpoint the underlying problem. Additionally, the importance of preventive maintenance cannot be overstated, as regular checks and timely service can stave off potential failures. This holistic approach leads to a more reliable and efficient driving experience, ensuring that drivers can depend on their Honda Odyssey for years to come. Please like and subscribe to the channel. See you next time.